I learned how to be a mother before anything else in my life. Love came later. I was 44 when my son left for college, and that same year, I realized for the first time how loud the silence of a house can be. My marriage wasn't bad, it's just the marriage happened. My husband was a good man, responsible, calm, and completely absent. We shared the same bed for years, but never each other's dreams. I didn't complain because women give up complaining early, when children are still growing up. I woke up in the morning, made lunch, checked homework, and at night, exhausted, wrapped myself in my share of silence. I kept telling myself, this is life. Then she came. Her name was Elena. She was my son's school counselor. We met for the first time regarding his college admission, around 30, stillness in her eyes, a strange softness in her voice, as if she didn't want to understand you too quickly. We talked formally, grades, future plans. But when my son stepped outside, she asked me, "Are you okay?" I was startled because no one had asked me that for years. I smiled and said, "Yes." She didn't smile back. She just said, "If you ever feel like talking about something other than being a mother, come to my place." That day, after coming home, I stood for a long time looking at myself in the mirror. I met Elena again, this time over coffee, with no agenda. We talked about children, then relationships, then those desires that never find a voice. I told her that I had spent my life being just okay. She said, just okay is never anyone's dream. For the first time, I felt something inside me shift. I was filled with guilt because I was a mother, I was a wife, who had given me the right to want anything. But Eleanor never touched me, never hinted at anything. She just listened to me. And listening sometimes is more dangerous than touch. One day I heard myself say, "I am not happy." It was the most honest sentence of my life. My husband asked me, "Are you talking to someone else?" I said no. He didn't ask anything more. That night I stared at the ceiling for a very long time, and for the first time I asked myself, if I am not happy, does that make me wrong? Meeting Eleanor had become a habit. We never sat too close, never touched hands. But when she spoke, it felt like air was coming in through some closed window inside me. One day she said, "You want me?" I didn't reply, because some things don't rise from the mind, they rise straight from the chest. "I don't want to break you," she said very softly, "and I don't want to break myself either." At that moment I told her that I am a mother, and every desire of mine collides first with my child. She looked into my eyes and said, "And I don't want to be the reason you put yourself after your child." That day I fell in love with her, because love is the one thing it doesn't force you to choose. It lets you become your truest self. I told my husband the truth, not all of it, but enough that I couldn't live in a lie anymore. We separated without hatred, because sometimes relationships don't die, they just complete their time. I didn't tell my son everything, but I did tell him this much, that I now want to be honest with myself. He hugged me and said, "Mum, you feel lighter for the first time." Eleanor and I didn't start anything in a hurry. First we understood the fear, then we set boundaries, then slowly we moved toward each other. When she held my hand for the first time, that hand was trembling, not mine, hers. And in that moment I realized age can be different, but vulnerability is always equal. Today we are together, not in hiding. We are thinking of going somewhere far away and building a home where no one knows us, just peace and quiet. That is my final wish.